Alright. This is it. After all of this, we are finally going to Jotunheim.
Here we go! I can't believe we're gonna see the giants.
Well, if things work according to plan. Go
Well,
ahead and lock in Jotunheim and we'll be on our way.
Well, let's see. We've got the rune. Check. The gateway. Check. Both of Mimir's eyes. Check. Balder taken care of. Check. I'm pretty sure we're finally going to be able to actually go now without any interference.
Boy, ahead. Get ready.
Oh, right. Got it.
Ready, Mimir?
Let's hope this doesn't cause you to explode or anything.
Oh, hadn't considered that. Maybe we should talk about this a bit more.
Nah, I'm sure you'll be fine. Ready?
Oh, that's unpleasant!
Now, boy. We must be close.
Well, what are we waiting for? Think it's far?
We will see.
Looks like it worked. That is a long stairway.
A word, please, before we continue.
What's up, Mimir?
Listen, the last thing you two need up there's a decomposing heat ruin in the moment. Why don't I wait for you here? This is between you and the boy.
True. But if someone were to
My
fight...
lady sips soft, perfect sloshers.
Huh.
You done did it.
Are you two here to see us off?
Sorry. We had to see this.
I mean, they have been with us throughout the journey.
Oh, no. No. Fine, damn it. Fine.
Watch the head till we return.
It'll only be for a
can do
little
this.
while.
No, I can't.
Nope.
Okay.
Mimir doesn't exactly
Ready.
have the best relationship with those two.
Come.
Huh. It got so dark. Huh.
Do hurry back, please.
Don't flatter yourself, goat boy.
Somehow this long set of stairs feels very fitting. Feels very appropriate. My eyes! Alright.
Look! We're on the giant's fingers. I can see the highest peak ahead. Right over there. We did it.
We did.
Kratos? What are you doing? The bandages.
What are you doing?
I have nothing more to hide.
Oh gosh, Kratos. Wow. Gosh, just look at those scars.
Can we go now? We're so close.
Atreus, you're ruining the moment. This is a
Boy.
huge moment for him. He's letting him carry the ashes. Finally. He earned it.
Carry her.
And then he puts the gauntlets back on. Gosh, what a huge moment that was for Kratos. Covering those bandages all this time, saying he no longer had anything left to hide. Just letting go of his fear of the past. Gosh, what an awesome moment that is. And then you finally get to see the scars still there on his arms, burned.
Boy.
It's nothing. I just thought I'd hear voices by now.
Oh, that's not good. It is very, very quiet here. I think we're about to find out something horrible about the giants.
Hello? Anybody here?
What is this place?
They must have all come through here when they left Midgard. What was left of them.
Why carve all these faces?
What if this is all the giants that got out of Midgard alive? Not really many at all. Odin and Thor, ruining everything for everybody.
Midgard was a dream of what could be if we shared and collaborated. Jotnar, Aesir, Vanir, Elf, Dwarf, and Mortals, most of all. It was beautiful, but not everyone is capable of sharing. Some believe anything uncontrolled is savage and threatening, and so we were mocked, and tricked, and used, and then slaughtered. Odin and his tribe were barred from our realm, but it was not enough. The wrath of Thor and his terrible hammer have thinned our number in Midgard to the brink of ruin. There is no option but to withdraw, while yet any lived to do so. Odin and Thor would have killed all the giants if they could, and they got away with everything. Finally unlocked Jotunheim here as one of the realms.
Where are they now?
The giants came back home so they could survive. But I'm not sure they did.
I don't think they did either.
Huh. Who's the Guardian?
Too bad Mimir isn't here to kind of help us and figure this out. We foresee Midgard's fate, overrun, a second hell. Neither Odin nor his dead may reach Jotunheim. The ways must be shut. The serpent and the guardian remained. They alone shall keep our hope. When doom befalls the indestructible, only then shall the guardian return. Until then, we await a better world, one without fear, without greed, without war. We wait for deliverance and justice. We wait for a champion. We will wait for word that gods grow good. Hope that world gets here soon.
I should feel them, but I don't. This place is dead. What happened to them? Why'd Mom send us here?
One question is answered, and two more take its place.
Something's happening.
Are you guys ready for a big reveal?
It's your axe. It's Mother. Look. She's arguing with a bunch of giants. She knew giants?
She was a giant.
That's us. The first time we met the world serpent. But how? And our fight with Baldur. But that just happened. Wait. They knew everything that was going to happen. The dragon in the mountain, the stone mason, all these drawings. This is our story.
No. This is your story.
But what does it all mean?
That I was not the only parent with secrets.
She never told Kratos.
You didn't know. She was a giant.
You're a giant.
I'm a giant. Why didn't she tell us?
She sent us here, knowing we would find this.
But why not just tell us the truth?
Your mother would have had good reasons. Baldur was never sent to find me.
He was
He
after
was
her.
tracking her all along, not knowing she was only ashes.
If she had a plan for us, I trust it. Whatever it is. Besides, she hasn't been wrong yet. Come on. We're so close to the end now.
Pay close attention to this next part here.
Yes. Yes, we are.
What you saw there, you could probably be able to tell. In case you couldn't tell, that was an image of Kratos, I believe, being killed, dying in Atreus' arms. Though it's not very clear if it's implying that Atreus actually kills Kratos, or if someone else killed Kratos and Atreus was there to try and prevent him from dying. At least that's what many of us have theorized. There have been many theories. I have heard many people talking about their theories about just this segment alone, what you just saw, including that little bit right there. And it's not done, because we have yet another reveal coming up very soon, which a lot of people did not see coming. But first, let's go scatter her ashes.
Look, it's Mother's. She was here. She saw every step we took before we took it. Like she was always with us. Watching over us. Leading us home. Let's finish it.
I mean, the fact that there were drawings of stuff that literally just happened. How far into the future were they able to see? I'm probably gonna get emotional here. This ending always gets me. It's not just because of how beautiful of a scene it is, but it's also because it's a little personal. Over the past few years, I lost both my grandmother and my uncle, and both of them requested that they be cremated and that we scatter their ashes. So I've been there. I was there for both times. So, and when my dad played and beat this himself, he also said this reminded him of when we had to do that for my grandmother, who was his mother and his brother. So, forgive me if I get a little emotional during this scene. And you can see there, those are the giants. Those are all of the giants' bodies. They're all dead. He is literally the last giant. I mean, this is a graveyard. But it makes sense why she'd want to be scattered here amongst her people.
Father.
No. We do it together. Son. Goodbye, Faye.
I love you, Mom. The giants. They really are all gone. There's nothing for us here.
Come.
So, I get that Mother was a giant, which makes me part giant and part god.
And part mortal.
Right.
Kratos' mom was immortal.
I guess there's just one thing I don't understand. My name on the wall. The giants called me... Loki?
Pow!
Loki. That's the name your mother wanted for you when you were born. She must have called you that to her people.
But why?
A question for another day. Let us go home.
Does it now make sense why the serpent said he recognized him? And to be clear, when we say he's Loki, we are not saying he's the Marvel Cinematic Universe Loki. Return to the temple. And now we roll the credits.
Guess it all makes sense now. Why she want to end up here? Be with her kind?
Corey Barlog,
But did she know it was going to be like this here?
beautiful job,
Is this what she wanted
sir.
us to see?
Wonderful
Did
job.
she want us to tell the
You
people?
and everybody at
Or
Santa
keep
Monica
a secret?
Studio.
I Do not know.
So what should we do?
I trust you to decide that.
Oh.
Can I say this has become one of my favorite end credits segments of any game ever? This is a great way to roll the end credits of a game.
So, why'd you want to name me Atreus? I know it can't be for a god.
No. He was a soldier. A Spartan.
A great warrior?
All Spartans are great warriors. We trained from birth. Our lives were discipline, duty, battle, and death. Life was grim, and we greeted it grimly. But Atreus of Sparta was unlike the rest of us. He wore a smile even in the worst of times. He was happy. He inspired us to hope that though we were machines of war, yet there was humanity in us. Goodness. When the day came for him to lay down his life in battle, his sacrifice saved countless others and turned the tide in our favor. I carried him home on his shield and buried him with all the honors of Spartan custom. His memory was a comfort in dark times.
Wow, you actually told a good story. Maybe you missed it.
Yeah, that was a good story. Makes sense he would tell a good story about his days as a warrior in Sparta. Gosh, Bear McCreary did such a phenomenal job with the music of this game. Such a fantastic soundtrack. The music is just so spot on. Such an amazing job. Everyone involved did such an
I understand
amazing
you feel like
job.
a bummer, but I bet there's still some corrupted Valkyries out there that could be set free.
Agreed?
Some other help people need. Maybe helping people was part of why Mom sent us out here, too. I mean, what would Atreus of Sparta do?
And what would Loki do?
Huh. That's a weird name. I'm glad we went with yours.
Why is it so dark in this room? Mimir, why are you just laying
Lads,
there?
am I glad to see you? I believe I've reached my limit for dwarven charm.
They
What
just
happened,
left
Mimir?
you here?
They took an uncomfortable number of measurements and then proceeded to bicker about the weather.
Where do you want us to take you?
How about the warm confines of anywhere bloody else?
And this officially marks the end of the main story portion of the game. Continue exploring, complete Dwarven favors, free dragons, travel to Muspelheim and Niflheim, find new items in the shop, and to get powerful equipment that will allow you to defeat all the legendary corrupted Valkyries. Valkyries revealed. Locations of all the corrupted Valkyries have been revealed on your map. So, let's take a gander here at where any of them could be here in Midgard. There is one here in the mountain near where Mimir was, so I'll have to go back there into the mountain to find it. That's, I think, the one I was thinking of. Same thing works here in the other realms. As I mentioned, there's a realm tear. There was a Valkyrie over here in Alfheim. I like how it actually gives them their name. So Olrun is over there. This one is Ayer. In Helheim, there's one actually behind the temple, Rota. We will not be able to go back to Jotunheim, by the way. You can tell there's nothing there. I'm surprised it's not showing the Valkyrie here in Muspelheim because I know she's still up there, waiting for me. And, of course, the one I mentioned in Niflheim, inside the Miss. Yeah, Hildir. Yeah, fighting her in the Miss is a pain. It's a big pain. However, before we even think about doing any of that, there's still 1 or 2 more things left to do. Farewell, Jotunheim. Back to Midgard.
Before we return to Midgard, I should warn you. More time has passed than you want to realize. The snowfall that began when you slew Baldur has become something else. The stuff of omens.
Omens, or the coming of winter.
Not just any winter, but a great winter to span 3 summers. And when it's done, Ragnarok begins.
Ragnarok. Some snow.
Aye, snow. Lots more snow. And then the end of the bloody world. In that approximate order.
Another prophecy.
No, brother. Prophecy doesn't expect this for 100 more winters at least. You've changed something. Prophecy didn't count on you.
Quite the implication there that Kratos is able to affect things like prophecies. That they are not a certainty simply because of our presence and intervention.
I'm telling you, it's Fimbulwinter. I can feel it in my scrotum. This is the big one.
Stop saying that. Oh, you're making me very nervous. It was bound to snow sooner or later.
That ain't just snow, and you know it. It's the end times.
How dare you make me the voice of reason?
Guys,
Just discussing the weather. Bit of a cold snap lately.
What he means is, Fimbulwinter's upon us, boys. The winter to end all winters. I can feel it in my scrotum.
yeah. We heard.
So if you're heading home, try to keep moving. And also, to not die.
Or if you're not heading home, same advice.
Well, we are gonna head home, actually. There we go. I mentioned there's still one more thing to show you guys. Hey, you want to jump off again? After all that, we scared the ashes. May as well take the plunge.
We're finally home. Feels like a lifetime ago.
Bit drafty, maybe. It's a right improvement over having tree bark in your tadger.
We're tired. Let's get some sleep.
Time to rest.
I'm gonna sleep through winter.
Huh. All right, see you in a few years then.
Okay, this'll do.
Sleep.
Way ahead of you.
Looks like you put him a mirror like on the below the bed. Years later.
What was that?
The ball.
Sounds like a certain someone came to pay us a visit. Hi, Thor. Mjolnir. Gosh, that was awesome. Woo! Let me take a moment to turn this down. Fortunately, I haven't had any copyright issues with the music of this game because I think Santa Monica and Sony realized that doing that would cause a number of problems, which, if that was Cory Barlog's decision to not implement any copyright stuff against the music for knowing that many of us on YouTube and Twitch would want to be able to share this, then once again, praise to Barlog and Santa Monica and Bear McCreary as well. Just such... I cannot heap an appropriate amount of praise for this. This, to me, is without question the game of the year of 2018. And my goodness, I cannot express how much this game blew me away. Because, especially if you are someone who was extremely familiar with the previous games, this was so jarring. Especially the first time it was revealed. I'll never forget that. If there's one thing I'm never going to forget is E3 2016, when the Sony press conference opened with an orchestra in an opera theater playing some theme, the theme that you would be hearing right now. I can still lightly hear it in my headphones, but that's because I turn it down to talk. And we were all like, what is going on? And some people were immediately thinking, this sounds like it would be related to God of War. And then when they revealed Kratos, after they revealed Atreus on the screen, people lost their minds. And for the next 10 to 15 minutes, the crowd was just going crazy with the demo that they were showing. And 2 years later, we finally got this, and oh my goodness, did this game just blow away all of our expectations. I wasn't sure what to think about how this game was going to turn out, and then the reviews started coming out. 10 out of 10, I think I saw from various different outlets, including IGN. Though, many of their reviews have, but if there's one thing I have noticed, a lot of times when they give a 10 out of 10 to a game, many others usually follow up with that. Games like God of War, Last of Us, just some, a couple of notables there. And my goodness, if there is one thing this game did so well, it was how they handled Kratos and the story. Because many of us speculated if this was even going to be canon, because of what happened at the end of God of War 3. And we thought, is this like an alternate timeline thing? Is this like a legit reboot where we are going to now ignore all the other games? But as it went along, you realize this is a legit sequel. This is legitimately taking place afterwards. Just an incredible job. And that teaser there at the end, I mean, you want to talk about a reason for us to look forward to the next game, because I'd be stunned if this does not prompt another game. The amount of success they pulled off here with this game, I mean, this has to continue. And just all the implications and teases about possible sequels, not just with the encounter with Thor, because after all we heard about Thor and Odin, Kratos has to take them down. We have to have a game. The next game, I want to have us actually go to some of these other realms, including Asgard, and face off against Odin in the same manner that we faced off against Zeus. Because that would be awesome. If they actually start the next game with that boss battle that we just saw against Thor, instead of somehow making us work our way towards that, like having him be the second to last, that would be amazing. Just because we started this game with Baldur just right off the bat, and it was like, holy moly, this is the first boss battle, and this is an insane boss fight. Just such an incredible job. I do wish we could have been able to go to some of these other realms, but this was a nice way to kind of help break us in. It almost feels like maybe, I don't know if this is what they're eventually going to say when the eventual sequel comes out, but you know how the people at I actually forget the developer studio, but I've heard that the people who made Middle-earth: Shadow of War, that was the game they actually wanted to make, but they wanted to make a tutorial game to help break people into how the game was going to work, so they made Shadow of Mordor first to help people get used to things like the Nemesis system and the combat system and all of that, so that then they could be more acquainted with how the game would work before they jumped into Shadow of War. And I almost wonder if that's the approach they're taking with this. If maybe this was a tutorial game for them to introduce how this franchise was going to be working going forward, and then the next game is the game they really want to make. And I would like to say or recommend that you guys go check out a video of the man running the show, Cory Barlog, the game director at Santa Monica. Go look up a video of him reacting to pulling up the very first reviews to come out for this game, because he didn't know how people were going to receive it. He really was not sure how much people were going to like it. And he started to see all these positive reviews, and he just lost it. He just started crying, just on camera. It's a genuinely, like, touching moment to see him just break down crying, seeing all these positive reviews of this game that you could tell, he and the people at Santa Monica, they poured their heart and soul into this game. They really went all out. And this is the kind of game that spits in the face of companies like EA that say single-player games are dead, that there is no place in the market anymore for any of these single-player games. That's all about multiplayer games, online games, games filled with microtransactions. This game spits in the face of all of that. Single player game, no microtransactions or online components at all. Just a phenomenally well designed single player game that is just incredible. I called it right, by the way. You see that at the bottom? So Corey Burton, of course, because he's awesome. And Christopher Judge, of course, an incredible job as Kratos. And then Magni and Modi as, I called it was Nolan North and Troy Baker. I instantly recognized those voices. Just so many things about this game, like the gameplay, the voice acting, the presentation, the design, just so many things about this just oozes production value and just incredible work. And of course, as I mentioned before already, the music by Bear McCreary, just incredible job. What was great was he was the first one to come. I mentioned E3 2016 when they revealed this demo. He started that Sony convention. Sony opened where they showed, they're at some opera theater this year, and then Bear McCreary comes out from the side of the stage, walking towards the podium to conduct the orchestra, and we're like, who's this guy? Like this long black-haired guy. Who is this? And he gets up to be the conductor. I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's a full on legit orchestra just laid out there. And then he conducted the theme for this game right there before they raised the curtain and showed the demo. So, and then he and the orchestra proceeded to conduct the entire press conference. It was incredible. E3 2016 is one of my favorite Sony press conferences I've ever seen. It was just so great, so well done. Just in terms of presentation, it was only an hour long. They conducted the whole show. It was just great. And just people were just just losing their absolute minds over this, after, with the way they started with God of War, and then of course some of the other things that happened later on that they revealed. But this was the big one, like how they started off. Like that to me is like a template for how other companies should look at for how they should handle a conference like this. It's one of my absolute favorite conferences I've ever seen at E3 or any convention, to be honest. So let's just go ahead and skip the rest of this. Let me turn the volume back up.
I had the weirdest dream. Then the winter was ending. And Thor came here at the house. But it felt different. It felt real. It felt like the future.
Then we will worry about it tomorrow. Today, there are still things we can do. Come.
So yeah, that was a dream. Or a sign of things to come. I did find it funny that it said years later, and yet the two of them looked exactly the same. So this makes sense that it would be just a dream. That Atreus was able to see the future. A nice tease for where they're going, like I said. So that effectively marks the end of the story. Like I said, at this point, the only things that are left to do are defeating the remaining Valkyries. And of course, there's the Valdi's Curse, which is the Realm Tears, which is all the Niflheim stuff. So, I've defeated 3 of 8 Valkyries so far. Valkyrie armor, epic loot, upgrade materials. Trust me, I am gonna have to get, like, all that I can before I even consider taking on the leader. I'm going to be upfront with you guys about this. I would like to show you guys all the Valkyrie encounters, and I have beaten all the Valkyries except for the leader. I still haven't beaten her. But that's only because I tried taking her on a couple times, and then I decided to start this playthrough. So, I'm going to try and work my way to that. I'll try and see if I can show you guys each of the different Valkyrie encounters, and then have the last video we do be me taking on the Queen of the Valkyries. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to really practice and focus when it comes to making that. But if you guys were here just for the story, I hope you enjoyed the story portion of this playthrough. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna probably head off to Niflheim to go collect some of that stuff, the mists and such. I'm gonna see what I can do about getting some stuff, because I think I may have to get the Niflheim stuff before we start taking on some of the rest of the Valkyries. We'll see how it goes. Stay tuned.